Hello everybody, I am sorry I pretty much, oh, my game froze again. It may unlag. This is what happened before. Aside from this, I do have to restart it. I just wanted to post this video only to explain. I am sorry I, if for my, third video has to be... First of all, this is what I'm talking about. I just wanted to make this video so y'all understand what I mean by my game will lag. So I will not be able to really fully play Uber mode without dying, because it will sometimes do this, sometimes it'll unlag, and then it'll still be laggy, and then I'll die. I just wanted to post this video. One, because I spent like an hour and a half making the other video, and it just cut off on me. I guess there is a limit. So from now on, all my videos are going to be 15 minutes or less. I'm going to try not to exceed 50 minutes. So that means it's going to be like between 50 and 55. Well, it's going to be between 40 and 55, really. But this is really what I wanted to talk to you about. This is really just a blog right now of me really, I'm not even going to pardon my French, fucking bitching about some of the fucking shit I gotta deal with. Really, this is just me venting out. One, because I just spent an hour trying to make a third video the proper way. I did a lot. So if I do another one, understand that it's gonna be... I'm just gonna pretty much walk through where they all are. I remember for the most part where they all are. There might be one or two I'm gonna say I just don't fucking know. I did miss some. This really does frustrate me. Right now I'm just venting out. This is just a blog right now. This is just the shit I gotta deal with. I mean, it's really nobody's fault. It's just, I play the game a lot. My cables are sketchy. That one piece that you probably noticed in the first one that's hanging in the front of the bottom right hand of my TV and behind my Xbox, that's what's holding the HDMI in. I tripped over it. This is a new TV, first of all. I was really frustrated the past month. I lost a total of $180. I have a Google Pixel phone, and I had that stolen. I left it at a gas station in Carrollton. I pray I left it there. I rather it been stolen than me just misplaced it somewhere along the street when I was walking to get. I don't even remember what I went to the store for, but I don't know. And I pretty much had to lose two friends, and I say 180 because I think my other friend, one friend just lost me $100. I don't know. And then the other one, I swear, pretty much just stole 80 from me. I mean, I trust him to have given it back, but I think he was just trying to think of an excuse to say his mom took it or something. I'm not even going to name names. I'm not even really going to be too in detail, about why she would have taken $80. I mean, and then, my neighbor might have returned it, but he put it in the dumbest spot. Or so he told me what spot he put it in. It was just stupid, I thought. And then I have my own issues, and that just made the month even worse. And I really don't know anymore. and then when I do break down and I have one thing going for me, another thing just ruins. You know, I finally accepted, you know, I'm down almost $200. You know, I'm down 180. I pretty much lost two friends too. I lost the phone at the time, which was like $600. I mean, today it was recent, and it's like $100. It's like 150 used now. Well, it's still like $300. The Google Pixel One. They have the third one out now, but it's the fact of, you know, I kind of got it when it was kind of fresh, you know, so it was pretty expensive for me at the time. I mean, it was an upgrade, and I eventually got paid back for paying the phone bill that allowed me to get it, you know. But it was the fact of, you know, it was an expensive phone. You know, I had a lot of stuff on it. I'm just so glad it's linked with Google, and I got all my stuff back, all my photos and stuff. I'm grateful for that. But it's the fact of, you know, there was, you know, I had some stuff on there. I really wish I had kept, you know, a lot of apps that I really spent a lot of time on, that I actually had fun doing. You know, I really felt proud of myself on accomplishing a lot of the stuff. And you know, my life's not, not all rainbows and lollipops. I have a pretty crummy life right now. You know, I literally just sit in my camper all day, and I drink Monster and just play games, and that's really all I have. I don't even like walking out the street because there's this one cop that just, oh, picks me out, you know. And there's a few things like, I know they were BS reasons, but I just complied, you know. Just, I'm that guy, you know. I mean, I got nothing to hide. But it's the fact of, you know, you pick me out, you know. And you can tell he's picking me out the way he's wording things, you know. It's easy to tell when a cop does that. And so I don't even get to hang out with this with a, you know, with this one guy. I like to call him my friend, you know. I like to think he calls me his friend too, you know. I mean, technically we're kind of acquaintances, you know, buddies at work, but you know, I don't even really, I got to hang out with him maybe once or twice, but you know, after that I didn't even, I don't even like leaving my house anymore, you know. It You know, on top of that's just like part of it, you know. That's not even getting into the other aspects of my life. And I never have a lot going for me, you know. I really hang out with no one. I'm grateful I got a job that I can hang out with people at my job. I've been slacking on going to church because that's like, except for the past month where it's just been raining and I haven't really been able to work because, you know, it's been raining. And then there was one week I just totally missed out on a bunch of days, which I don't even know how. You know, so I missed out on that. I just, you know, I don't know. And, you know, and that's just recently. That's not counting, you know, throughout my life, the issues that build up that I still, you know, have, you know, I gotta hit head on, you know. Well, I already hit it head on, you know. I gotta drag it behind me, you know. You know, everything is just like insult to injury, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I have some stuff to do. I mean, I chew and play guitar. You know, I write some stuff. I'm not really good, you know, but you know, I mean, I do get to go out and socialize. I mean, there's even this girl at the Pig. You know, I really do have feelings for her. You know, I forget her name. I don't even remember her name. I don't even get out that much anymore because of that cop. And then my mom's always at work, so I never really get to go anywhere with her. You know. So it's like, I think her name was Lindsay. I think, you know, and you know, she's really cute. She's uh, dark hair, you know, she's, you know, I really like her, you know. I can't explain what I find attractive in her personality and the way she talks, but she's got like that, you know, like that tone I like, you know, that just I'm attracted to. I don't know how to explain it really. Right now, I got so much on my head. Usually, I could explain it to a T, you know, and you would be like, "Yo, dude, man, you need to write a book." And it's like, I, I get to where I don't even know anymore, you know. I really like her too, you know, but and then it's not even that. It's like, all right, you know, say she does, you know, like me back. I just got so many issues. You know, yeah, I got a job and I could afford to take her out, but it's like, hey, babe, I don't have a ride, you know. I'll pay, you know, I'll even throw some gas, but, you know, I want to take you out, but I don't have a ride. I don't even have a car, you know, a carpool to work, you know. I mean, yeah, I'm a loner. Yeah, I got nothing. A lot of people out there probably saying, you know, a lot of people tell me head on, get a girlfriend, you know. And then I say, you know, I might as well just start smoking pot all my time, you know. At least, you know. And people say, oh man, why smoke pot? You just need a girlfriend, man. You know, pot. You know, you got to deal with dealers, and they short you all the time, and you know, half of them aren't even reliable, and so it's like, yeah, all right, you know. Yeah, it's not like I don't try to get a girlfriend. You know, I talk to people. You know, I mean, there's really only one girl I really want, and that's, you know, the girl from the pig. You know, down the road. I mean, she's down the road. I know when she works. You know, and it's not that I don't really have the balls to ask a girl out. You know, if she's watching this YouTube video, I hope somebody shows her this YouTube video, and you know, and then there are times when I'm just so out of it. You know, and then I take these pills to help me sleep, and then when I do, I just seem like a complete tool, you know. I got so many issues. I get jumbled up. I have all intentions of wanting to do something, but then I get like distracted with other crap that just overwhelms me, you know. And that's like I just get like get dopey in the head, and then I come out like some immature asshole, you know. I can't help it. I try to calm myself down. I try to sort things out, you know. I'm getting. I bought these pills on Amazon that hopefully help me focus, you know, on, you know, they're supposed to help you, you know, yeah, focus. They're kind of like legal Adderall, but, you know, it's supposed to also help with just keeping your head, you know, focused on what you need to focus on. Quit that fog, you know, get rid of that fogginess, you know. It even explains that, you know, get rid of the fogginess in your head, you know. And then a lot of people say, you know, yeah, it helps with this and this and that and that. You know, a lot of the ingredients in those types of pills are even that alpha titan or goatweed crap, old Chinese remedies. I'm like, yeah, well, all right. You know, I've had some similar stuff before, and I like them. They help me keep my head clear and moving on. You know, a lot of the ingredients help with anxiety too, so it's all right. You know, it's great. Uh, but I don't get those till tomorrow, and hopefully I can just look past everything and just go down and say, you know, hey, but then it's like the times before, you know, I just seemed like an immature asshole. So it's like, why bother try to ask her out now? Why try to get her to understand, you know? I mean, I can't find her on Facebook, otherwise I would. I don't even really want to ask her for a number, because it's like, I don't even really want to give her mine, because like, she thinks I'm an immature asshole. There's a few times I went down there, and you know, even I could sense it, you know. I was just, but you know, I may come off, you know, like, you know, that's just how I am. But it's like that's a defense mechanism, really. You know, your brain just swaps personality. It's like bipolar, multiple personality disorder. You know, just kicks on and you can't shut it off, even though you notice it. You just can't shut it off. You know, and don't even know anymore. I'm just venting right now. I don't know. I don't even know her last name. I'm pretty good at getting girls' last name right off, you know, and I just can't remember. Because I'm just so focused on other stuff, you know, I can't even think of her last name to, you know. I don't even think I got that far, you know. I mean, it's not like I have a problem, it's just, you know, yeah, I don't have problems talking to girls, it's just, you know, my other problems, they just, you know, come ahead. I'm sure a lot of y'all out there understand, you know. It's like, it's not that I don't try, you know. And another, you know, because so, I talk to people, it's like, no matter what friends I have, you know, they always end up some kind of quirk, and, you know, and then people, you know, people say, you know, at least if a girlfriend screws you, you know, at least if a girl screws you over, it's like, whatever, you know. At least you get something out of it, you know. I mean, yeah, she's expensive, but, you know, it's a give and take. But then it's like I try to follow my faith, you know. It's like you know, some you know, even if she's understanding, you know, even if she's like, even if a girl's like the slow going type. I mean, I'm talking like I'm supposed to be like, and I say I'm supposed to be because I'm just going all out today, you know. You know, I still chew. I still I have my own vices that contradict my beliefs, but it's like I try to, you know, but then it's like some people just aren't willing to go that slow or, you know, really jump in that serious to where, especially with, you know, my little moments where I just go brain dead and just, I don't know. So, I'm sorry if this episode became a blog and me just venting out, and I'm sorry if the next episode I do it just ends up being like a brief walkthrough of where things would be. You don't get to see the glory of me actually achieving them, you know. I did get some, you know, throwing knife achievements, you know, the first commander in the one area, oh, he just happened to be a thing, you know. You know, and my sincerest apologies on that. You can just look at the previous videos and see what I got. I mean, really, you know, I'm pretty independent, which kind of gives me a little bit more confidence in my life, you know, as a whole. You know, I have my own job, I got my own place, I even have my own acre in Alabama, per se, you know. You know, just waiting on moving out there, you know. But then it's like, now I'm moving out there, now I'm even further away from all of my goals, you know. My brother's gonna sell me his Marquez, you know. Which, that would be nice. It's a smooth drive, it's a heavy car, though, you know, heavy as shiz. Uh, but everything works, you know, everything that needs to work anyway. But and he fixed all the pain in the ass parts, you know. He got the ball joints fixed, and then I think he's got some other stuff fixed too. So he's got the most expensive stuff out of the way. It just needs a key, which is gonna be like $200. Ironically, he said, "Oh, about 180." Oh, well, what do you know? I could have had 180. But then again, let's be face it. I went through such a rough time. I probably would just found a friend who sold drugs, and I would just bought drugs with it. Let's face it. Let's put it that way. That's exactly what would have happened. I had that crappy of a month. And I know people have crappy lives through and through, you know, but you got to think the way I was raised controls my personality, my brain function. From my crappy experience, you might think, wow, that's a walk in the park, you know. I was beat down by my parent, you know, whatever your backstory is. I'm not being rude. I'm venting out for me right now. It's the fact of, you know, I try to appreciate all I had. I had the one TV for 6 years, pretty much. Almost 6 years now. I turn 20 soon. And it, and then it's like I'm 20, and then it's like not unheard of for people my age to go through a midlife crisis. And that's exactly what I'm thinking I'm going through. You know, I got those issues coming. You know, coming and going really. So I question whether it is or isn't. And it gets to where I don't even know anymore. It gets to where I don't even want to just. I don't even know. I know it's not the worst part of my life I've experienced, and I know it's not going to be. It's definitely not going to be the worst. There's definitely worse to come. And I think that's really what's really the icing on the cake there. Uh, Ironically, metaphorically speaking, I wish it was icing on the cake, you know, for real. Uh, you know, it's just that added weight. Dude, you're acting this way over something this petty. How are you gonna act when something serious happens? You know, what if you do get a girl and she breaks up with you? And I already been through that once, you know. It was a little rough. I was depressed a little bit, but I was more angry, really. It's one of those. She said, she might be pregnant, Yeah, I know, stupid on my end, stupid on my end. But I was trying to be responsible. I'm like, you know what? There's no way on a minimal. Usually they say save up at least. I don't know. Her mom says save up at least 6 months worth of paychecks or something total. Before that's just a start. That's not even counting the future. That's just to get a nice easy boost for yourself. So I thought, I'm gonna join the Marines. I'm gonna enlist. Because I told myself, I've always wanted to enlist anyway. I've always loved Call of Duty. I've always loved Wolfenstein. I've always wanted to be. So I thought, this might be 2 for 1. And nowadays, they got all these fancy health benefits. I thought the only way I'm going to be able to support a kid, because I didn't even have a job. This was when I was just helping her dad out for part of stuff, And it's like, all right, so I'm going to go do this. I'm happy, I'm excited, I got a nice girlfriend. Been with her about a year, she seems serious, we have some personal conversations which makes you think like, like personal, that makes you think, man, I've fallen in love with girls before and I've really hit it off, but I have never just spewed all this out before, And so I thought, I'm going to join the Marines because that's the only way I can really afford a kid and a family, without, I didn't have this was before I had a place to live, land, a job. Well, a steady job, I'm going to say. I was still in school, I was on my way to graduating, I mean, I was just graduating too, so, I mean, that's when you really got to pick up, it's either college or, enlist or, hopefully you got a good career going already, or, you just sit there and just smoke weed or something. I thought, you know what, at least I'm taking a healthy route, Well, not really healthy, I risk dying, but. And then, they have these things where you can set up where you can y'all can live together. You don't have to worry about getting spaced too far apart, My sister, is with a dude in the Air Force, He's a great guy, man. And they manage, and, I look at them. This was after the fact, though, they were after the fact. I'm thinking, how come we didn't work, But then I begin to think of the age gap between me and her. As much as I dislike to admit it, she definitely was a much, literally and mindset speaking, she was definitely a bit younger than me. I dislike to admit. But, her parents really liked me. Well, near the end. Well, in the beginning for the most part, her dad probably still liked me too. Probably wished I I'm sure her dad probably wished, things didn't turn out in the end the way they did, but it's like you get a vibe, It's like you don't intend to change per se, But it's like a vibe that secretly just festers in you that you just can't understand it in reality, so it kind of just represses itself because it's like whatever. But it's like they're cheating on you. It's like they're slowly fading away. It's just your brain is trying to save you, you know? And it's like I knew this and it's sad. And what's funny is I wanted to break up first. And this is when we found out she wasn't pregnant, and I thought, whatever. I want to break up with her. I got, I'm angry, I'm upset, but it is what it is. So I'm going to what really what turned it depressive was when she said, "Now I lost the one I need." It's like, all right, I may be the one you need, but I'm not the one you want. I mean, it's not like I'm the one you love. At least Meatloaf had 2 out of 3. You know? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I didn't even have 2 out of 3, man. I barely had 1 need, huh? I barely had that one. Barely. I mean, if it wasn't for the good start off, I'd like to say I helped, we benefited each other, and I benefited her for the better to some degree, and that's why she brought that up. And then she even chased me around the whole hallway, and we even got, and I'm like, oh, all right, this might be serious. I'll be like, you know what, fine. And then things were going great for the longest, and then, it's just like vibe again. Except this time I knew. It was empirical, except it was the fact I kept trying because it's like, what, she tried, so I'm going to try. And, that's really that's what made it worse. I could have, I went through breakups before. It was not for the fact that we, if she wanted to end it then and there, it would have been like, it's a big fuck you to me. But whatever. So, I would have just accepted it. And I was even the one to suggest it, I think we just need to break up. And I was wanting to end it mutually, but I think it was more like I was breaking up with her. I think that's what it came up to. Or came out to. But it's like, why would you want to fight for me if you're just insisting on not wanting to share the full ride with me, I mean, yeah, she was into me as the one to have around the fams and the, physically, but there's like that vibe in you that, yeah, I like the physical part too, and I really want that. Because that's really what makes a relationship, that physical attraction too, as well. That's half of it. So really, to ask, would you rather an emotional relationship over a physical one, that's an impossible question, because in order for a healthy relationship, you need both. And I didn't have, I was giving her both parts, My mind and, I was giving her my mind and my head, It's like, it, but you're taking out what makes the physical part actually meaningful. You're taking away the tantric part, It's not really, yeah. It's like using you, without even saying, you mean a lot to me. I'm glad you're in my life. It's like taking that whole part I just now set out. It's like, all right, goodbye. We're done. Like, seriously? You're just gonna take out the whole emotional part, the whole other half of a relationship. You're gonna just strip that away from me. And I wanted to break up first, alright? I want to get that out there. I was sadly accepting of it. And I've been feeling that way for the longest. And I thought, you know, already I'm pretty much used to living without her now. I mean, we still saw each other every day. It's like, but at this point, emotionally, we were gone. So it's like, alright, I can accept this. I've had to accept it before. You know, what's one more? I mean, she was my first real physical relationship now, so it would have hurt anyway. And I did wait till I was 17, by the way, so anybody having it before, you know, when you're starting to reach that young adult stage, I think you're immature. I mean, I know she was at that point too, but for me to say that, and for me to still, you know, want to express further love with her physically, even though she's younger, and I think that would be ignorant to have it. That shows how much I thought she was serious. I thought she was her age, but with an adult mindset. Does that make sense? I know she was off on a lot of things, you know. She had her own issues, but I understood that in her heart, and somewhat of her understanding, she was an adult in her head, and I thought, you know, I want to truly take this to another level. And then after I took it to another level, we were still together for a while, and I thought, you know, usually this is where things go sour, but we're still together, you know. And so I begin to think, and I did wait at least a year before I slept with her, by the way. And I think I'm going to make that a general rule regardless of whether I have sex after I marry, or if I sin and I do it before, I'm going to at least be with her a year. So, that, the girl from the pig, if you're watching this, I'm seriously waiting a year. I waited a year with my first girlfriend because I seriously wanted to make sure she was the one first. And I'm going to do the same with you. And if things between us don't work out, it's going to be the same for the next girl, and the next girl, and the next girl. It don't matter how many times. I mean, with you, I'm going to be a little bit more... I'm definitely going to focus more on, you know, what's going on and how fast I really want to progress, how much I can handle at a time, because I already got a bunch of other stuff going on. I guess where I don't even want to ask you out, because I won't be able to actually focus on what's important with your life to help you through yours, to help me through mine. But it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like you need an ID to get a birth certificate, but you can't get a birth certificate without an ID. So, you know, I can't get through my problems without somebody there for me, but I can't really get somebody if I'm just so overwhelmed with other crap. And that's that, you know. I mean, I really did. I waited a year, about a year, you know, a few months before. I mean, we did fool around a little bit other ways, but, you know, as far as anything, I'm trying to be very, as euphemistic as I can. As far as tantrically, I'm going to use that because although you can kind of pick the part I'm really referring to in that term. As far as tantrically speaking, you know, I did abstain for about a year, you know. Or I did kind of a little bit before that, you know. Because I thought, you know, let's do this. And then we did wear protection for the longest, but then I guess she quit taking or thing, whatever. And I thought, you know, whatever, you know. I'm at the point where I actually want to go this next level with you. And, you know, I actually want to have a kid with you. I actually want to look at enlisting and affording a house and affording, you know, take care of the kid. I was all ready for that. I was even at MEPS I ended up not graduating before I enlisted, which was just after my 18th birthday, pretty much. So I didn't need permission from anybody, from parents or whatever. I was ready, I even went to MEPS, did the physical, I did the drug test, I did all of that. I went to MEPS, that's that. And I was ready to go back. And, for all I know, if I were to get a job now, it's probably going to pop up other than honorable discharge, because I seriously went through with that. I did the signing, I did the printing, I got my face, I did everything. All I had to do was come back like a month or two later. I forget how long it is. All I had to do was go back there the second time, and then I just go on the bus and I go to boot camp, or I go to basic, however you want to say it. Whether you're in north, it's boot camp. Down here, they just say basic. I was ready to go to basics. It would have been about 2 something months. I get that. And it would have definitely put that would have been the ultimate test for our relationship. I would have been gone for a couple months. I still would have been able to call her if I earned brownie points. I still would have been able to write her regardless, as long as the dude, I was ready for that, I'm used to long distance relationships, so I'm like, I'm ready for this. I can do this. But I guess she just couldn't, and that was that part, And then growing up, was really, if it wasn't for scouts, I would have never been out of the house. I mean, I would have been out of the house, but it would have been with the family I had at the time. That was my mom was always at work, so I didn't mind that. I understand that, It's hard being technically a single mommy. I had a dad, but, he was, he had his own issues. He was a good dad, though. He's my ex-stepdad, he's really great, Uh, I thought he did a lot, But as far as him actually, we actually even went out to go shooting, a couple times. We actually did stuff, so I can't say anything bad about him. I really can't. I actually liked him. All my other siblings didn't, but I actually did like him. I actually liked him. He was the only other person there other than, my mom was always gone, so it was really just him, as the other male. It was just my 2 stepsisters, my aunt, my cousin who was a girl, my grandma, and then all my other cousins are a-holes. They're not even my real family, But the fact of, my grandma, my 2 stepsisters, my aunt, my sister's mommy, it was all girls, So it's like, what type of healthy childhood would I have had if it was not for scouts? If it was not for scouts. And I think that's really what fucks me up now, So for those of you, watching this, yeah, I have issues. A lot of you will probably say, oh, it wasn't that bad. You could have explained all the brutal parts of it. But you gotta understand, I've been pretty much isolated my whole life, really. And we all know how much worse isolation can be. I was able to accept heartbreak, breaking up with, as of now, my current ex. Well, real ex, I have dated some online, and I try to go. I've even, went as far as meeting them, even though they were out of state. I was going to Connecticut, and I was like, you know what? How about I meet you? This one girl lived in Fayetteville, this girl, April. And I thought, she worked at Little Caesar, alright, how about this? You tell me when you work, I'll go meet you on my way to Connecticut, and I actually do. We never really talked after that, though. I guess she didn't really actually liked me in person. You know, I gave her a hug, you know, I kissed her on the neck, and I said, alright, I gotta go, I'm running late, because I really was. I ended up being late. I had to stay the night at the Atlanta airport for 12 hours, 9 to 9. I hardly got sleep. And when I did get to, you know, finally get to make friends with the manager and the janitor and everybody, they told me some secret spots that very few know, you know. And, you know, I actually, you know, got some good sleep, and, you know, that's like, I almost missed my flight, too. I would have had to stay a whole nother day. Yeah, so, and that was my first ever plane ride, you know. And that's like, you know, I really do try, alright? I do try at everything I do. It's not like I half-ass. I really do go the extra step. I try to plan ahead and make things work. I really do. And I know being a well planner is not always something to rely on. And I understand that. So I'm also good at improv. You know, I'm good at making the best of a shoddy situation. But when it's just bad to worse to even worse, regardless of what I do, when it's just completely out of my hands, it's in chaos and fate's hand, I just can't, you know? Yeah, I can almost relate to one of my friends who lost his girlfriend to a car crash, you know? He was gonna marry her, you know? And I can almost relate to, as you know, him to that emotion of just everything, just you're down, you know? You got life putting its palm in your face and saying, sorry man, you ain't getting past here, you can try all you want. And then just shoving you down into the ground, you know? But it's like, you know what? I don't care anymore. And, you know, every time I try to help him feel better, I somewhat help him feel better, but that's like, that vibe in me just kind of ruins it, and that's probably why he quit talking to me now. And, you know, it's a good thing he did, because I would have only made things worse. At first, I made things better. You know, I helped him get, I like to think I helped him get, you know, the gist of, you know, hey, things aren't really going to get better. You know, it's going on 3 years, and I'm still in my situation with my ex, you know. 3 years, and she's still on my mind. And I've had so many other good times I can look at after her, you know. After we broke up. And then it's like, and then there was this woman in Connecticut. I was, you know, we were talking. She was, I think she's probably gonna be 36 now. Some chick, Carrie, whatever. You know, I'm a philosopher. She's a psychologist. You know, we kind of had the right vibe going, but it's like, it wasn't really a good vibe to really go off of. We ended up kind of ruining even a friendship because we had two separate vibes going on. You know, she had one vibe saying, you know, she wants that has the same vibe as me, and then there was like this other vibe that from her past experience, past shitty experience, you know, she has her own thing, you know, with her relationships. Uh, you know, we just had two separate vibes, you know. I mean, we had a same vibe, but, you know, we both had our branch off vibes that just didn't work. It would have never worked, I don't think. It probably could have, but I don't really think it would have been the best outcome. It would have been a good outcome, I believe, but I don't think it would have been the best that we could have done with our lives, you know. She needs somebody more her vibe that's sticking out more, and I need someone more my vibe that's sticking out more, you know. I need someone closer to my vibe than and she needs someone closer to her vibe is what I'm getting at. It really had nothing to do with age. I mean, we hit off pretty quickly, you know. It was definitely that vibe, though. We definitely had a different vibe. Like I said, I mean, if I didn't have scouts, I always wrote as a kid. I was very good. That's probably why I can write at a college level now. I think I mentioned that in a previous video. Hopefully it wasn't the one I just deleted. I can write an entire essay using the once, you know. I think that was in the second video. And I can only do that because I started writing when I was in middle school, you know. I wrote short stories, actual, like, almost 100-page long short stories, you know. Well, it's not really short story, it's like a novel at that point. But I lost my workings over time. I still have a couple dozen. I had hundreds and hundreds of poems. Literally, I had them labeled 101, 110, 140. And, well, I mean, I had some labeled up to 100, and I had a couple labeled 40, so you know what I mean. But it's like, I mean, it doesn't really matter because, you know, I'm a good writer. I mean, it's great practice. I probably would have edited them anyway, and they really don't need to be edited. But I'm probably going to end off soon. It's hitting that 50 mark. I'm sorry this ended up being more of a blog. I just needed to vent.